Okay, I was just talking about Jean-Luc Godard. I've only seen, I've seen quite a few of his movies, about 7 or 8, especially from, I even saw one, Hail Mary, from the 2000s, I think it was made it in the 2000s, which is boring as hell, if I'm honest. I don't really enjoy that one, but the ones, Breathless is very famous. What he did with that, and that's what Quentin Tarantino does, is playing with genre. So you've got the genre of the sort of crime thriller, escaped, fugitive from justice, and he uses that as the basis, the foundation, to stick a bunch of other stuff in there, philosophical stuff, societal criticism, all the usual French shit, but you've got, the whole thing is based on so it's very ironic, objective. So you're looking at the thing, in a way it's like what Cézanne did with painting. What he said was, what I'm painting here is not some woman beside a river. What I'm doing is that it's paint. This is paint. He's showing you what it actually is. It's not an illusion. But the paint is a symbol of the woman. But I'm not going to try and fool you and make you think that it actually is the woman. And so it's kind of similar. It's very self-aware that, yes, this is just an action movie. It's not real. So we don't have to do anything to make it particularly real. We can do whatever we want in it. It gives, sort of frees people up, artists to do. That's why I always think collage is such an important, probably the most important innovation in 20th century art. The fact that you can just put wherever you want together, juxtaposed with something else, and it's still art. And a lot of times it's even more interesting art. You see that everywhere nowadays. So that's what he did. He did that with Breathless. So you got the cool soundtrack, the charismatic lead actor, and he explores lots of, the sensibility of the time, what was happening, but it's got that, it's still exciting because you're watching an action movie, sort of. And then he had Alphaville, which is also like a hard-boiled detective film set in the future, with also a lot of French philosophical shit in it as well. I can't remember, it's a long time ago, 20 years ago since I saw that, longer. I think 1991 I saw that. But there's a lot of just mad surrealist humor in it. And that's where I think he got a lot from Jean Cocteau, who would use Greek myths that he would incorporate, or like Beauty and the Beast. That's one of his most famous films. But he would incorporate, because he was directly connected with the surrealists and was even part of the movement. He would incorporate a lot of surrealist imagery and ideas and Freudian ideas in the film. And that sort of got translated. So they were thinking about films very critically and analytically back in the 50s in France. I think Godard and Truffaut, I think both were film critics for Cahiers du Cinéma. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't even know what that means. Something to do with cinema, obviously, of cinema. So they were analysing stuff. What makes cinema? And there's so much of postmodern thought comes from that. All these, semiotics. It's just analysing symbology, symbols, what they mean. And a lot of that comes from Jung as well, with symbols and archetypes, what they spark in the human brain. I think a lot of that postmodernist philosophy from France, like Derrida, I haven't really read much of it, but it does have the aroma of Kant and bollocks. Because that's the thing with philosophers. they always had to come up with a new philosophy to promote their career. So Hegel comes up with something, Nietzsche says, oh, I've got to do something to improve on this. What can I do? Okay, I'll come up with this. Although Nietzsche was very important, I think he was very important in analysing the effect of Christianity on European civilization in a way, how the sensibility of Christianity affected the culture and how people, the makeup of the culture. What was I talking about? So Alphaville is a hard-boiled detective film set in the future. Then there's Une Femme, a woman is a woman, with Anna Karina, who did an album with Serge Gainsbourg, which is a great album. Gainsbourg. My friend, who's this mad Irish paranoid schizophrenic guy, we went to see this film in Hampstead at the Everyman Cinema. I don't know why he came along with me to see that. He's certainly, this guy is not in any way an intellectual type of guy or anything. Well, I think in one of the first scenes of this, art house, the ultimate art house movie, is set in the subway, the metro, the first scene, I think, or one of the first scenes in Paris, and Anna Karina is taking her clothes off for some postmodern ironic reason, and we're all sitting there, all the arty-farty film students and all that. There wasn't that many people in the audience. There's about 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people, and my Irish friend, as she's sort of taking her clothes off, he's yelling out, "Get them off!" As if he was in a strip club or something. I think he just felt intimidated being in that kind of environment, so he just responded in the most offensive way he could by yelling at the screen for this art house woman to take her clothes off. I found incredibly funny. Another thing my friend did, Brendan, his name is. One time, he's completely mad. I mean, he's just he takes massive amounts of antipsychotic drugs, and he's on the largactylin line, as he calls it. Largactyl is an antipsychotic drug, I think. But it says lager and lime. He calls it largactylin lime. Anyway, he was a very handsome guy when he was young. He looked a bit like Matt Dillon, the actor. And one day he decides, so when he would dress well, he'd wear a tweed coat, and he had these riding trousers, the type they wear in horse riding events. And for some reason he decided to stuff 5 pairs of socks down the front. And then we went out and we went on the tube, and everyone had their eyes riveted on his crotch, because it was like having a small chimpanzee stuffed down the front of his underwear or something. He's just sitting there. He always had quite a noble sort of face, very handsome, but mad as a hatter. With everyone, I think we actually met a couple of girls there from Serbia or something. So I think it was even Yugoslavia back then. So. This goes to show, if you want to meet Eastern Europeans, put 5 pairs of socks down your riding trousers. Works every time, without fail. So we'll get to, there's some good, I've seen some great Serbian films and Croatian films as well, but we'll get to them. I was talking about Jean-Luc Godard. Truffaut, the 400 Blows, what was it called? 400 Coups. That's a great film. It stars the guy that was in a lot of Godard movies. He's also in Last Tango in Paris, really annoying kind of young French hipster guy. But he's a teenager in the 400 Blows, and it's a great film. Man, I was really, really moved, and just one of the best films I've ever seen by Truffaut. It's his first film as well. I think it's based on his own childhood.